Hey bookworms, welcome back. It's time for another deep dive on Book to Read. I am so excited for episode 31.
Episode 31 already. Wow, time flies.
It really does, especially when you're lost in a good book, which is what we're all about here. And speaking of good books, today we're cracking open The Sea of Monsters.
The second book in Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson and The Olympians series, a fan favorite for sure.
Oh, absolutely, and for good reason. This book takes everything we loved about The Lightning Thief and cranks it up a notch. More monsters.
More mythology.
And way more high-stakes quests.
Percy Jackson can't catch a break.
Nope, not even after saving the world in the first book. Summer break rolls around and you think, okay, Percy deserves some chill time.
Beach days, maybe some surfing lessons with Dad.
Right. But no, demigod life doesn't work that way. Percy's barely finished another year at Merryweather Prep when, bam, this seriously disturbing dream hits him.
Oh yeah, those dreams. Those aren't your average nightmares.
Not even close. It starts with Grover, Percy's best friend, the satyr. He's running for his life from this shadowy monster, hiding behind wedding dresses. Can you imagine?
Wedding dresses. Grover. That's an image.
Yeah. And Riordan really lays it on thick with the description of this monster. It smells like a wet sheepdog rolled in a dumpster. Yuck. Talk about nightmare fuel.
Vivid writing for sure. Makes you wonder why wedding dresses, though. Grover, a creature of the wild, hiding among symbols of domesticity.
Foreshadowing, maybe. I don't know, but it's definitely creepy. And then on top of that, Percy's mom starts dropping these cryptic warnings about Camp Half-Blood being in trouble.
Ah, those parents. Always holding back information.
Seriously. It's like they think they're protecting their kids, but really they're just making things more stressful. And speaking of stress, let's talk about Tyson. Percy's half-brother. He's back in this book.
Tyson. The big guy.
Yeah, he's this big, clumsy Cyclops who brings a whole new level of chaos to the story.
But he's got a heart of gold. That's what I love about Tyson.
Right. He's loyal, innocent. He really challenges those preconceived notions about monsters.
Not all monsters are bad.
Exactly. Remember that scene in the gym? They're playing dodgeball, and these least Draconians show up, disguised as bullies.
Dodgeball with cannibals, as you do.
Only in Percy Jackson's world. And Tyson ends up being the unexpected hero saving the day.
Muscles and a good heart.
So they finally make it to Camp Half-Blood, but things are off.
Understatement of the year.
Yeah. The atmosphere is tense. Security's been ramped up because Thalia's pine tree, the magical barrier that protects the camp, it's been poisoned.
Bad news. Thalia's tree is pretty important, symbolically speaking. A barrier against monsters, poisoning it, that's a direct attack on the camp's safety.
And then there's Tantalus, the new activities director.
Yeah.
This guy is a straight-up nightmare. And I mean that literally.
He's a spirit from Greek mythology, condemned to eternal hunger and thirst.
Yeah, so he's definitely not winning any Camp Counselor of the Year awards. And to make matters worse, the Oracle drops a prophecy about Percy being in grave danger.
Of course, there has to be a prophecy.
But no one tells him the whole story. It's like, come on, just give the guy some straight answers for once.
It's that classic Greek mythology thing, right? The prophecies are always vague, full of riddles, like a cosmic puzzle you have to solve.
It's frustrating. But okay, let's move on to the chariot race.
Because what's a good summer camp experience without a chariot race?
Right. But this isn't just any chariot race. We're talking Stymphalian birds. Those metallic feathered nightmares.
Straight out of Hercules' labors, those birds are no joke.
Nope. Razor-sharp beaks, and they're not afraid to use them. But of course, Annabeth comes up with a brilliant plan. She uses Chiron's boombox and this, seriously terrible CD to blast those birds away.
Talk about resourceful. Annabeth always has a plan.
Right. She's the brains of the operation, always one step ahead. And this is where things get really interesting. Annabeth figures out that the key to saving Camp Half-Blood is the Golden Fleece.
Ah, the Golden Fleece. A powerful artifact. Mythologically speaking, it's a big deal. Jason and the Argonauts. Healing powers. Renewal.
So basically, it's the ultimate magical remedy.
Pretty much.
And Percy, being the hero he is, decides to embark on this quest to retrieve it, even though Tantalus forbids him from going.
Talk about a rebellious teenager. But hey, he's got a good reason. Camp Half-Blood is in danger. Grover's missing. He has to do something.
And before we set sail with Percy on this crazy quest, I want to talk about a place where you, our amazing listeners, can connect with fellow book lovers.
Oh yeah, this is great. Have you heard about Bookspace?
Bookspace. It's the ultimate online hangout for anyone who, like us, would rather have their nose in a book than doom scrolling on social media.
It's like a book club, a library, and a social media platform all rolled into one. You can track your reading, you can discover new books, you can geek out with other readers. It's awesome.
Right. Imagine a community where you can share your favorite quotes. You can join discussions on the books we're deep diving into right here on the show. You can organize your entire library. It's amazing.
And if you're a fan of deep dives, they have forums dedicated to all sorts of topics. Character analysis, theme discussions, hidden meanings.
It's like a never-ending book conversation. So if you're ready to level up your reading experience, head over to your app store and download Bookspace. Trust me, you won't regret it.
Back to Percy's quest. The Sea of Monsters awaits.
So picture this. Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson set sail. Not on some luxurious yacht, but a cruise ship for monsters.
The Princess Andromeda. Now that's a vacation I'd like to avoid.
Yeah, it's packed with creepy creatures, all hidden from the unsuspecting mortal passengers by the mist.
Ah, the mist. That magical veil that keeps the supernatural world hidden from us, mere mortals. Very convenient.
Yeah, until it's not. Because guess who they run into on this monster cruise? Luke?
The former camper turned traitor.
The one and only. And he casually reveals that he's the one who plays in Thalia's tree. Talk about a backstab.
Luke's a complicated character, a lot of anger and resentment towards the gods. He thinks a new order is needed, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Yeah, not exactly hero material. And then, things get even crazier when they have to escape from Circe's island. Remember Circe?
The sorceress who turns men into animals.
Yep. And guess who gets turned into a guinea pig?
Let me guess.
Percy. It's a whole thing. Hilarious, but also kind of terrifying.
Definitely a test of identity for Percy. But hey, at least he wasn't turned into a pig, right?
Silver linings, I guess. But the laughs don't last long because next up, they face the Hydra, that multi-headed serpent that can regrow its heads.
Talk about a challenge. It's like a mythological whack-a-mole gone wrong.
Seriously, they are in the sea of monsters, facing one mythical creature after another. Just when you think it can't get any crazier, they encounter Clarice, daughter of Ares.
Oh, Clarice! Always a delight.
Right. She's also on a quest to retrieve the Golden Fleece. And her ride, a resurrected Civil War ironclad.
The CSS Birmingham, manned by zombie Confederate soldiers. It's like Riordan took all the coolest parts of history and mythology and mashed them together.
It's epic. So now they're sailing toward the Sea of Monsters. With Clarice and her zombie crew, they land on the island of Polyphemus, the Cyclops, the one Odysseus famously blinded.
Polyphemus, classic. But wait, didn't you say something about man-eating sheep?
Oh yeah, the island's also home to man-eating sheep. It's creepy, like a twisted version of those cute little lambs you see in springtime.
Not so cute now, are they?
Nope. Percy ends up rescuing Grover and Clarisse from Polyphemus's cave, but then they discover that time moves differently in the Sea of Monsters.
Time distortion, that's a fun element.
Yeah, but it's not so fun when you realize it means that Camp Half-Blood is in more danger than ever.
That's when the stakes really jump up. It's not just about finding the fleece anymore, it's about racing against a ticking clock.
And get this, Tyson, who we thought was lost at sea, shows up riding a hippocampus.
Wait, what? He's alive?
He's alive. And here's the kicker. He's not just some random sea monster. He's a Cyclops, son of Poseidon, sent to help Percy.
Whoa! Plot twist?
Talk about a family reunion.
And it completely flips the script on how we view monsters and heroes and family. So much to unpack there. It really does make you think differently about family, doesn't it?
It does. And it's not just about the action and the plot twists in the Sea of Monsters. Riordan also takes the time to explore Percy's emotional journey.
Yeah, he's not just battling monsters, he's battling his own doubts and insecurities, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't be freaking out if they discovered they were the son of Poseidon?
It's a lot to process.
And Percy's constantly questioning himself, trying to understand his place in this world of gods and monsters.
Trying to figure out who he is.
And what I love is that he's not afraid to be sarcastic about it all.
Even when facing down a Hydra, he manages to crack a joke. That's Percy for you.
It's his coping mechanism. It makes him so relatable.
He's not this perfect, invincible hero.
Right. He makes mistakes. He relies on his friends. He learns valuable lessons along the way. And speaking of friends, that moment when Percy decides to send Clarice back to camp with the fleece,
Huge. A major turning point for him.
he's putting the fate of Camp Half-Blood in the hands of his rival. That takes a lot of trust.
It shows how much he's grown since the Lightning Thief. He's learning to be a leader.
And it highlights that whole theme of unity.
These demigods, they come from different backgrounds, they've got their own personal baggage, but they have to work together if they want to survive.
Exactly. And can we talk about the amazing female characters in this book? Annabeth continues to be a total rock star, using her intelligence, her courage, her strategic thinking.
She's always there to support Percy, even when he's being stubborn.
Which is often.
But she's not afraid to challenge him either. They have this great dynamic.
And then there's Clarice. In the first book, she comes across as a bully, but in this one, she really proves herself.
She's fiercely loyal to her siblings and to Camp Half-Blood.
That scene where she single-handedly takes down a cultist bull, epic.
Riordan does a fantastic job of creating these multifaceted female characters. They're strong, smart, capable.
They break those stereotypical damsel in distress tropes you often see in mythology.
Absolutely. And then there's Tyson. Proof that you shouldn't judge a book or a Cyclops by its cover.
He's the ultimate underdog.
Yeah.
And his journey from outcast to valued member of the team is so heartwarming.
It speaks volumes about the power of acceptance and finding your chosen family.
Percy, Annabeth, Grover, and Tyson, they create this incredible bond.
They support each other through thick and thin.
It's a reminder that family isn't just about blood. It's about the people who choose to stand by you.
No matter what.
But the book doesn't shy away from the darker stuff either.
Yeah, Luke's betrayal. Heartbreaking.
He was like a big brother to Percy. And to see him turn to the dark side.
It's tough, but it also makes you think about the impact of trauma.
And resentment.
Luke feels abandoned by the gods, so he seeks power and recognition from Kronos.
It's complex.
And Riordan handles it with a lot of sensitivity.
And that ending.
The camp is saved, but the threat of Kronos is still out there.
It's like a victory, but with a giant question mark hanging over it.
Riordan is a master of cliffhangers. He leaves you wanting more, needing to know what happens next.
And that's what makes The Sea of Monsters such a great read. It's got action, humor, heart, and enough twists and turns to keep you hooked.
It's a perfect blend of entertainment and thought-provoking themes.
Totally. And if you want to geek out even more about all things Percy Jackson, you know where to go. Bookspace.
Connect with fellow fans, share your theories. It's the ultimate online hangout for book lovers.
All right, so we've talked a lot about the big picture, but there are some really fascinating details in The Sea of Monsters that I think deserve a closer look.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of details?
Well, remember when Percy meets Hermes on the beach? And Hermes tells him that story about a baby stealing something from Apollo?
Yeah, it seemed like a random anecdote, but knowing Riordan, there's probably a deeper meaning there.
Right. On the surface, it's a tale about cleverness and resourcefulness, qualities that Percy definitely needs on his quest. But I think it's also about reconciliation.
Interesting. How so?
Well, the baby takes something that doesn't belong in him, which causes conflict, but ultimately he returns it, and harmony is restored.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. You're drawing a parallel to Percy's relationship with his father, Poseidon.
Exactly. There's a lot of unresolved tension there, a sense of abandonment and resentment on Percy's part. He doesn't understand why Poseidon isn't more present in his life.
And then there's that letter Percy gets from Poseidon. All it says is, brace yourself. Not exactly fatherly affection.
Right, but what if Poseidon is trying to protect Percy in his own way?
What if this whole quest is actually Poseidon's way of helping Percy grow, preparing him for bigger battles ahead?
Tough love, God style.
Maybe. I mean, it's not exactly conventional parenting, but hey, these are the gods we're talking about.
And maybe this quest is the first step toward reconciliation between Percy and Poseidon.
It's possible. Maybe by proving himself, by retrieving the fleece and saving the camp, Percy can finally earn his father's respect.
That's a really interesting interpretation. It adds a whole new layer of complexity to their relationship.
And it makes you wonder if a father-son reconciliation could be the key to defeating Kronos. Could that be the missing piece of the prophecy?
Whoa. Okay, now my brain is officially doing backflips. So many possibilities. It's like Riordan saying, hey, enjoy this crazy adventure, but also, think about this stuff. Like, what does it really mean to be a hero? What about destiny? What about family?
On the surface, you have these quests and battles with monsters. But underneath, it's about Percy figuring himself out. Like, who is he in all this chaos?
And Riordan drops these hints along the way. Makes you wonder, what's he getting at?
Yeah, like little clues. Remember that vision Percy has? The one at Circe's spa? He's in a tapestry.
Oh, yeah, and he looks so powerful. Almost arrogant.
A warning, maybe?
Like a glimpse into the future. A path he might take if he lets power go to his head.
It's definitely something to think about. And what about those dreams Percy keeps having about Grover?
Those are creepy. He likes sheep. It's here.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, we know the sheep are connected to Polyphemus, right? But that it's here part, it's ominous.
Right. What is it? So many questions. And then, boom, we find out Tyson's a Cyclops, a son of Poseidon.
Huge reveal. Changes everything.
Totally. Makes you wonder what Poseidon was thinking.
Was he trying to protect Percy, or was this some elaborate plan to set them up as rivals?
I don't know. It's hard to say with the gods. But I do think Tyson's arrival pushes Percy to grow.
Yeah, to confront his own prejudices. To see beyond appearances.
It's a powerful message about acceptance, about finding family in the most unexpected places.
And speaking of family, Percy's decision to send Clarice back to camp with the Fleece, that's a big deal.
He's basically entrusting his rival with the fate of Camp Half-Blood. Shows a lot of maturity.
He's learning to put aside his differences for the greater good.
But it also leaves him vulnerable. I mean, that ending, Luke's attack.
Talk about a cliffhanger. Riordan knows how to keep us on the edge of our seats, but it's not just about the action, right?
No, it's the emotional stuff too. Percy's facing all these external threats, but he's also fighting his own inner demons.
He's dealing with abandonment issues, trying to accept his destiny, and trying to figure out how to be a leader. It's a lot.
It is. And it's that struggle that makes the Sea of Monsters so relatable. It's like this coming-of-age story wrapped in a mythical adventure.
It's about finding your strength, facing your fears, and the importance of friendship and loyalty.
And of course, it leaves us with tons of questions. What's it on the island? What's going to happen with Percy and Poseidon? And how is he going to defeat Kronos?
I guess we'll have to wait for the next book to find out.
Right. But, thinking about this whole prophecy thing, what if Percy could defy it?
Interesting. Like he had the power to choose his own path.
Yeah, what if free will is stronger than destiny? I don't know, just something to think about.
Definitely makes you think.
Before we wrap up, a quick reminder to check out Bookspace.
If you want to keep talking about Percy Jackson, or any other books for that matter, head over there.
It's a great community of book lovers. You can share theories, discuss your favorite characters, and maybe even find your next great read.
It's the perfect place to connect with other bookworms.
So, Bookworms, that's our deep dive into the Sea of Monsters for episode 31. We had a blast exploring this book with you, and we hope you enjoyed the journey.
Until next time, keep those pages turning.
Happy reading, everyone.